Hi, in this video, the goal is that when you finish viewing it, you understand that the teams are an environment to achieve something, they are not an end in themselves, and that you identify some of the things that I think are basic for a team to work well. And these are the things that we should invest our efforts to achieve. It is true that with the teams we have the feeling that we can achieve complex goals and that we can also do it in a much more efficient way, much faster, much more efficient than if we approach the tasks individually. But also when we work in teams we can waste resources, especially if we dedicate people, time and team resources to tasks that are not suitable for working in a team, or if we really consider that we have to create the teams because they are an end in themselves. This gives the feeling like some people who think that I have some tasks that I have to do, or I am responsible for some tasks, and then I decide that these tasks are better that we do them in a team, then I select some people, I create the team, and that's it, I have results. I think things don't work like that. That would be like magic, and I think that teams work. The analogy could probably be agriculture. You have to sow, you have to prepare the land, you have to sow, you have to water, you have to fertilize, you have to take care, and with time you get results. And what I am going to show you in the following transparencies are the things in which we should invest or take care, sow or fertilize, so that the team can give us results. The first thing is that the team has some limits that are clearly defined and that the people of the team understand them. That is, they must be focused on specific goals, know what they want to achieve, that the people of the team know what they want to achieve with the team, and that these goals are within the comfort zone of the team. Many people say that what you have to achieve is that people leave their control area. I rather believe that what we must achieve with the teams is to expand the control area. But when we are working in the team, we must be in an area that we feel comfortable and enjoy working in the team, because we have to expand. That is, learn new skills, learn new techniques, have new knowledge, have the new things that allow us to address complex problems, but have the resources that allow us to do all this, feeling that we are growing and not that they are getting us into an environment where we have stress and anxiety. Then other things that the teams must have is the dates, the times, the key dates or the limited dates in which certain tasks must have certain dates in order not to harm other areas of the organization, or to be able to have the results that we were taking into account. And in the same way, the budget, if there is a budget, we should be clear about, which are the spending limits that we can make, or the investment that we can make in this team, how far we can go and how we must manage this. It is also important that the team knows what authority it has to make decisions. If it is a team that is simply dedicated to informing, or it is a team that can also propose, or in addition to informing or proposing, this team can decide, or this team, what we want is that in addition to implanting, that is to say, not only that you decide what things are going to be done, but that you take them to practice and put them on the go. So all this has to be clear at the beginning, and it must also be clear when and how to communicate with other people, teams or units within the organization where this team is involved. To put a little detail to the things that we were talking about in the previous transparency, the proposals and methods have to be clear, but not only do you have to know what you have to do, but the people of the team must understand why we are doing it, or why we are going to do what we want to do, not only what, but why. Not only where we want to get to, but why we are interested in getting there, and that these proposals and goals are linked to the mission, vision, values of the organization where this is inserted. And it is true that if the organization does not have this clear, the team will be lost because they do not have a guide or a north, but it has to be aligned. That is, the proposals of the team have to be completely aligned with the proposals of the organization. We must also understand how we communicate with other moments and with the people we have to communicate with. But what is that relationship with other teams? What teams depend on us? What projects can be affected by what we are doing in the team? And external agents to the organization that depend on us. They can be clients, they can be users, they can be any other aspect that is linked to us, with any other social unit that is linked with us if it is not necessarily within the organization. We also have to understand how it is going to work and how the tasks are going to be carried out. It is very similar to what we were talking about before. That is, it is not only what tasks I have to do, but how we are going to do it. I have to know what, I have to know why, and I also have to know how, at least at the beginning, how we have planned to do it. If then some of these how to do the tasks have to be modified, because we discover moments where we have to change the things that we had planned, great, it is explained why we have to make the changes and the team can continue to work wonderfully. And also linked with all this, to have some key indicators that allow us to know the group, how it is progressing in the tasks and the objectives that they had planned. Another thing that the team has to do is develop the confidence of its people, and this basically starts from having shared values, because this confidence consists of shared values and also have some ethical compartments. But this is not possible without the team not remembering what things they consider to be positive for the group and what things they consider to harm the group. If we are not all clear about this, it is very difficult for behaviors to be considered as fair, equitable, ethical, or that they support the cohesion of the team. Because some people may consider that what they are doing does not matter, and others at the same time could be considering that precisely this destroys all the operation of the team. We have to build the values, that is, the things that we consider to be common, and from there we would establish some norms that are good and that are bad, and then with that we can work and know that I can trust that the other people will behave within this framework that we have established ourselves. That in other groups the framework can be different, but we have to understand what we can expect from others to consider that we trust in this context. And they also have to have access to the key resources, which fundamentally, at the least, you have to have resources, people, because the team is made up of people, and these people have to have the knowledge and the skills necessary to be able to perform the tasks of the team, or they must have the ability to get those knowledge and these skills, either because they are formed or they acquire them within the team, or they acquire them or take them borrowed from outside or are formed outside to have. There you have a list of possible skills that they should have, which are basic ones that should appear in the team. And then apart from people, they must have data or they must have technology at their disposal to be able to process those data or to be able to do their tasks. And of course they must also have the availability of the people who are part of the team or the people from whom the team depends. That is, when a team does a survey, it should have a relatively quick response from the people of the team or from the people who act as promoters of the team or from the other teams with which they are linked in the organization. I think that the important thing here is to reflect on how all this is achieved when it is worked in person, how all this is achieved, how all this could be achieved when we are working remotely, and to know if when we have a hybrid team what we are doing is in an intermediate point between these two poles, or when we are in a hybrid team what we need is something different because they are managed in a different way. At the moment, I think that you can understand that the teams are an environment and also some of the basic characteristics or the basic things that a team needs so that we can work well. You have any literature of support if you want to look a little more in detail on the things that I have told you in this video.